Hey boys, welcome back to some Broncos career mode, round 3 of the Auckland 9's, and we're not going to progress further in the competition, which, is a bit of a shame. We're not going to take that, the form, I guess, into the standard competition, but I'm not too worried with it, I think the 3 games, getting a little bit of just gelling a little bit. A few new players in the team, so obviously it takes a little bit. I think our attack, the last 2 games, we haven't scored that many points, but I think our attack has been pretty good as well. I'll have a look. Obviously the Dragons, a couple of big signings, James Graham and our former teammate Ben Hunt. So yeah, the Dragons are an interesting team. I'm really not sure how they're going to go this year. They're a team that I have no idea, because they a couple of big signings, and I do like Ben Hunt as a player, but I'm very interested to see him actually play for a different club. I don't know how he's going to go. Is a good play here. We do get the high tackle. Probably would have been nice to just get the play on and get the pass away there. Could have scored a try, but right here, unfortunately, the intercept, Ben Hunt, that man, you're just going to sneakily pick it off. We had a good chance to get the first points on the game, but I'm very curious to see how the Dragons go. Obviously, Graham, I think Graham, not necessarily done in the NRL, but I do think he's nowhere near as good as he used to be. I think he's lost a lot of his ability, I guess, but right here, so it's going to be a little bit of a poor play coming up here, so I had to pause the game for a second, and on the back of that Kurt, man, he's just going to streak away. I think it was Milford. He made this little ankle tap, but unfortunately Boyd wasn't quite close enough to pick him up, so that was very unfortunate. But Graham, he's obviously a very good player still, and I think he'll do well. And maybe change of clubs, he'll actually get back to some of his better form. But I sort of think, last year, a few injuries have sort of hampered him as well. But he's definitely lost a lot of, I don't know, what would you say, sort of his aggression, I guess. He's not quite at that same level as when he first started. So, right here, I could not believe this. There's a certain 4-pointer. They knock it down, but it's not called by the ref, and they're going to get another chance. The Dragons getting a little fortuitous in this game, and big fella Pereira, I'm not sure who this is. Looks a bit like Tim Laffey on the game here, but I don't know who he is. But he's a big fella out on the edge here. He's just going to power his way over and score another try. So very, very disappointing. I'd love to go in to the NRL season winning one of these Auckland 9's games, but it's looking a little dicey at the moment. But yeah, Dragons, I don't know. I mean, they've got a good side. Solid forward pack, and the inclusion of Ben Hunt should help them a lot, you would imagine. Gareth Widdop was probably one of his best seasons last year. He actually found some of the form that he used to have at the Storm, and he's sort of just been lacking that partner in the halves. So Ben Hunt and Widdop, I think, could prove to be a pretty good combo. But we'll see. They're definitely an interesting one for me. I'm not sold on them, but we'll see. That was a really nice play, actually. Darius Boyd through the gap here, trying to burn Kurt Mann, and just going to get the pass knocked down there. So we're going to get the 6 to go. I was thinking about trying to put in the little kick, but it's a little hard to get the kick away quickly in that spot. I guess the other exclusion is Corey Oates. He's moved his way into the middle there and proved to be pretty effective. Just nice quick hands by Maguire, good skill, couple of players drawn in, and a very simple try. So Anthony Milford here, chance to convert the 4-pointer. Try to use the win, but again, we're going to miss. I just can't kick, apparently, my comeback into Rugby League Live 4. But the other mission I didn't even talk about, I didn't even I realized, but I forgot about, is actually Dugan leaving the club, which is, it is a loss, but I sort of, like, Dugan's a good player, and I think he plays really good for us, like, obviously playing for a really quality side like Australia, yeah, you know, a lot of players probably stand up and look better, but Dugan plays so good in the centres for Australia, but like for New South Wales he doesn't look that good, and for the Dragons, I feel like he hasn't been like the match winner for them, and he hasn't been that consistent for them. He's been solid for the Dragons, but like you look at him in an Australian jersey, and it's like, where is this type of form for the Dragons? But losing him is obviously a big loss. But I mean, Kurt Mann showed at the end of last year he's got a fair bit of talent. He can play at the back. You know, this is talent right here. Anthony Milford, take a bow. That is just magic ball playing. We did have the numbers, but it was just sleight of hand. It was just drawing in a couple of good line runs. It looked like Jack Bird sort of went back on the inside, and then it was just a nice 2-on-1 to the outside. Corey Oates, that was a beautiful try, and that's the stuff that just makes this game just that much better than previous rugby league games. Just the ability to just sort of those plays together just looks so nice, and perfect play is Josh Maguire. He's had a big game so far. Set up the try, should have had one there potentially, but it was a big tackle by, I don't know who it was, but it was a try saver, and then another big one on Milford. I can't believe we didn't score right there. It's a big moment in this game, and thankfully we are going to get the try. A little kick into the in goal by who was this? I think it was McCulloch, out dummy half, just trying to put in a little kick in. The big fella Pengai Jr., very skillful forward, is able to scoop it up and plant it down. And he's someone I'm very excited for this year, Pengai Jr. I mean, he showed what he could do last year just with, you know, not having too much experience under his belt, but just looking like an absolute match winner. And I'm very keen to see Pengai Jr. after like a good season, you know, and like a full season with the Broncos, see what he can really do, because he's an absolute monster, Pengai Jr. So he's going to get more game time, you'd imagine, with a few forwards leaving, and I'm excited for a few of our young forwards coming through. But that is going to be a very disappointing loss. We almost came back, but not to be. So we'll make it into the regular season pretty soon. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the welcome back, and I'll see you in the next one.